Hello, everyone, and welcome to our last lecture on microeconomics. And I am your instructor, Jamal Haider. So let's begin with our today's discussion. We are starting a brand new chapter, which is very exciting. So let's can't wait and just, start. So our final exam is going to be held on 29th of December. The timing is the same that we are having a class. So the timing would be 9:45 to onward. So I would be distributing your exam on 1 p.m. on Shanghai time. So the structure of the final exam is going to be the same. I would be uploading in two parts. Part one going to be true, false, and multiple choice questions. Part two, the same structure as midterm. So we would be having short questions. No numerical questions. Numerical questions going to be tested in MCQs and true false. But I would be giving you short questions, for example, define or what are the characteristics of like monopolistic competition. For example, this kind of question, if the there's a long run, and what is the behavior of oligopoly when they collude together. We already know that when they collude together, they become monopoly. This kind of questions we will be asking, but very short questions. You might have explained it. If you can explain it in one line, I would give you 100% marks for that, because I want to test concepts here. I don't want you to write it down like big pages and all this stuff. Just short questions, 1 or 2 line. I would be giving you 4 lines. If you can explain in 1 line, 2 lines, but maximum you would be having a limit of 4 lines. Okay, that's the structure. So are we clear regarding the structure? No confusion left, right, class?
Yes.
Okay, any question regarding the structure, exam? Okay, we will be having exam and I will be testing you from that part which we covered after midterm. Okay, so before midterm chapters, questions, I won't be including that. Okay, let's start. So today we'll start chapter 19, and it describes earnings and discrimination, right? So this is very exciting chapter. It will give you a new insight to think about this stuff. So let's talk about the introduction. So there is a differences in earnings in United States today. So we will be discussing United States example. Why? Because this book is basically US centric. So all the examples, mostly they are covered from the perspective of United States. So you can apply in your area, in your country, or you can apply in China as well. Okay, so a typical physician earns about $200,000 a year. The typical police officer earns about $50,000 a year. A farm worker earns about $20,000 a year. So we know that there's a huge gap, right? Who told us that we have to pay physician higher salary? And who told us to pay the policemen who basically, guard us, who, despite of the recent events, you can ignore that. But still, there is no law which suggests that you have to pay, higher salaries to physicians and very low salaries to the farmers. So the agenda is that we want to find out what causes earnings to vary so much. So wages are governed by labor supply and labor demand. We talk about that in our last lecture, in which we talk about that there's a labor supply, there's a labor demand. Supply of labor depends on the person who is able or who is willingly to work for. When we talk about that, there is a difference between leisure and work, right? If you want to pay more, time to your hobbies, to family and friends, like that, passing leisure time, then labor supply going to be lower, right? And labor demand is derived demand, and it depends on the product price or the market of the product as well. If the product price goes up, suppliers will be hiring more laborers to cope up that demand. So in equilibrium, each worker is paid the value of his or her marginal contribution, which we talk about that wages must be equal to value of marginal contribution of the labor, right? So our goal is to understand the wide variation in earnings and examine more precisely what determines the supply and demand of different types of labor. So in our previous class discussion, we just talked about labor supply and labor demand, but we didn't talk about the categories of labor, right? We didn't talk about, the supply of doctors, the supply of engineers, the supply of, the computer programmers, flight attendants, right? We just talk about over there, with factory perspective, that if the price of apple rises, the demand for apple pickers also rises, right? We didn't mention over there the demand of managers rises, or demand of whatsoever truck driver rises. We just talk about one perspective. We didn't talk about the categories of labors. Okay, so today we'll talk about the categories of labor as well. Okay, so now number one, the determination of equilibrium wages, right? So jobs have differing characteristics, both in terms of wage and non-monetary attributes. So what determines the equilibrium wage? I'm going to be highlighting that. Equilibrium wage, which means what market offers you. Number one, compensating differentials. Number two, human capital. Number three, ability, effort, and chance. Number four, signaling. And number five, the superstar phenomena. So let's talk about one by one. Here we go. Compensating differentials. It refers to the difference between jobs or wages, differences in wages that arises from non-monetary characteristics of different jobs. What does it mean? So wage is only one many attributes that the worker takes into account while starting a job. So supply of labor for easy, fun, safe jobs is greater than supply of hard, dull, and dangerous jobs, right? It means basically we are dividing the job into good jobs and bad jobs. So everybody, okay, just I put a question here. Would you like to have a good jobs which is very easy, fun oriented, and safe, right? And you will say yes. When you will say yes, you are not the only one. Everybody wants that. When everybody wants that, there's going to be higher supply. When there's going to be higher supply, it means the price of the labor, which is which is your wages, price goes down, right? Here we go. The supply for labor for easy, fun, safe jobs is greater than the supply for hard, dull, and dangerous job. So have you ever seen a documentary on, I think, Discovery Channel or maybe the Nat Geo? Dirty
Any
Job.
documentary?
Yeah. Documentary on dirty jobs. You know,
No.
this is a guy who basically wash factory chimneys and big chimneys. He washed that. So and he gathered like thousands of dollars. He charges thousands of dollars from that because there is no other person in the market over there who is ready to wash those big chimneys, like 50-foot tall and the 10 to 15 feet wide, and also narrow chimneys as well. So so that job is hard, dull, because you don't need any degree and not on master degree to wash that chimney, and also dangerous as well, right? So supply is less. When supply is less, the price, which is equal to wages, price goes up, right? So we can explain that why people are getting higher salaries and others are getting lower salaries. We can talk about in terms of compensating differentials, right? So example include coal miners. They are paid more than others with the same level of educations. The difference between, we can say that it's a compensating differential. Why? Because the working conditions are not good. It's not that easy. It's not fun oriented, and also it's dangerous. So that's why they're given higher salary. Night shift workers are paid more than the day shift workers. Why is that?